Back to the Future is the most 1980s movie of all time, and I can prove it. I recently did a video that discussed the fact that if Back to the Future was produced today, 30 years ago would be 1995, which, as someone who was born in 1976, that was a lot for me to process. But, I was nostalgic, and I started thinking about the 1980s, and specifically Back to the Future's place in the 1980s when it was produced. And I think that Back to the Future best represents the way the people of the 1980s viewed the world. I'm not just talking fashion, although this brings me back to 1985. I never dressed like this, but I saw people dressed like this. He had suspenders on, for God's sake. Although I am wearing a Hawaiian shirt, so I don't have any right to criticize anybody's fashion. And it wasn't the soundtrack, even though every time I hear Huey Lewis say "back in time," I literally transport back to 1985 in my brain. No, the reason why Back to the Future best represents the 1980s is because of this ending. And by the way, spoiler alert for a 40-year-old movie. Marty McFly goes back in time and changes his past and his parents' future. When he travels back to 1985, his parents are not the same people he grew up with. In fact, every memory that he had is completely different than the reality that he now inhabits. This is some Kafka-esque nightmare material, right? Except the movie doesn't treat it that way. The movie treats it like it's a happy ending. And why is Marty's new nightmare existence happy? Well, for one simple reason. He's rich. He lives in a much better house. His parents are thin and play tennis. And more importantly, he's got a really cool truck. So hidden deep in the bowels of Back to the Future is a lesson where it doesn't matter what happened in the past or whether or not your reality even matches up with your thoughts about that reality, so long as you have money. And that, ladies and gentlemen, best represents the way the 1980s saw the world.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.